When I was a child, I remembered a song, "Stop the world, I want to get down." Do you know what's more interesting? The world stopped, but we did not have anywhere to step down to. We have come to a moment when we need to look inside ourselves and to look after our own emotional state. Do you know what's more dangerous than a pandemic of coronavirus? It's a pandemic of disconnected people full of depression, anxiety, people who can't sleep, people who are only able to speak of the cause, the crisis, the blame, and giving up on the future. Only speaking about going to the supermarket and the shelves were empty, and putting even more negative energy into things that have already happened. So if you don't have anything positive to say, simply stay quiet and listen. And when you listen, your plea is heard, your vibration is lifted, and when your vibration is lifted, your immune system is strengthened. When we moan about things we don't want, we cry out and just double it. Nobody's a victim, nobody's to blame. We are talking about a problem that is silent and invisible, that was able to stop the world, and nobody could step down. So we've come to a moment when we need to look after our own emotional state of mind and look deeply inside ourselves and ask, how can I ignite the positive light in others today? How can I create a positive moment? Whether speaking a positive phrase, putting on some inspirational music, playing an instrument, speaking to somebody in your neighborhood block, putting out cards to see if anybody needs help. Anything, but always moving towards creating something good. It's not up to you to spread more negativity. It's not up to you to be adding more to the mayhem, but to help others to maintain a positive outlook, to help others to ignite their own inner light so that it does not go out as they face their daily challenges. My name is Sharon Bannister, biodynamic craniosacral practitioner and mentor. I wanted to translate and pass on this beautiful message to join the collective efforts to support you all. I hope it's been of help. Please pass it on. We all need to work together and to get the majority of people to be optimistic at the moment and create people that are aware, pray, meditate and vibrate with positivity, believing that everything will be all right and in time this too will pass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our spiritual vaccine because we need curing, we need a healing, we need to heal the soul, we need to heal our bodies, we need to heal the environment. Of course, we need to heal the world. And I appreciated Audrey Kitagawa asking me to do a short video for International Earth Day that's approaching in a few weeks on what my thoughts or ideas would be as we approach this particular period. And I have been telling you, I'm loving listening to the birds. I'm loving hearing the peace in the nature. I'm deeply appreciating the fact that countries like Lebanon can see into the far distance. Places like Delhi can see into the far distance. That there was a time that in India they couldn't even see the Himalayas. And now they're able to see the Himalayas. The silver lining in an extremely dark period in our culture. Last night I spoke about what is trust, and I thought that it was important for us to roll into character because I feel they're so deeply related. And we're at a particular period, aren't we, where character is going to be tested now more than ever. Qualities like simplicity, humility, kindness, generosity, being absolutely understanding, empathetic, sympathetic, are needed. There was a quote, and I can maybe try to look for it. I'm sure you all will remember it quicker than I. Martin Luther King had shared something about really the depth of a character of a man. In essence, it's when his back is to the wall, you'll see what comes out of him. And COVID has put us in a corner. And the question is, what's coming out of you? What is coming out of the base of your principle? And sometimes it's hard because even as I throughout the whole day I was thinking about our conversation tonight, and I was thinking about my own character and see areas where there are some flaws that I wish there weren't. But I also see areas where there's a lot of empathy and compassion and generosity and kindness. And I was asking myself, why is it that sometimes I move away from that? You know, what's the reason for me to move away from that? And again, it's that void, that hole. They've been memorials of people throughout history who have modeled something of a higher order. And especially during times of great challenge, there are always people who stand up and come forward and show the best of their humanity, to not allow the humanity to become more degraded, but to move it up and to push it forward. It's an incredible time, my friends. It's really an incredible time. Anyway, how are you all doing? Are you eating well? Are you exercising? I was on a meeting with Chris Decker from Uplift. It's a wonderful program and a wonderful organization that's doing some good work. Chris, if you're watching, a big hello to you. And I just happened to have gone outside with Happy, and I came up the steps while I was talking to Chris on the phone, which I wouldn't recommend anyone does. But as I came up on the steps, I'm like, and breathing hard. I'm going, Chris, really, I'm not like upset or frustrated with you. I just did my steps. And so are you exercising, and are you moving around a little bit more? I don't physically move around a lot. I think I should. But my thoughts are pretty slow paced, for the exception of when I'm getting to a lifeline. It tends to be very effective and very fast. But I try not to have a lot of waste thoughts or thoughts that are not important. I don't know why sometimes it still troubles my spirit when I observe individuals where I feel at an energetic level they're not growing from the waste that they're investing in. For example, um, today I was with Sister Gita. She's doing really well, everyone. Yesterday and today, and I don't know if that was because of Dr. Bradley Nelson's work with his emotion code that we experimented with her on, but I want you to know she's been great, and I'm going to knock on wood that it continues, because it's been beautiful to see her energy so up. So anyway, we have this extra television which nobody uses. And so we've put it in her room. And today Santos scanned something, we got some antenna, and we had the Ellen DeGeneres show that we were watching. Governor Newsom was being interviewed. And it seemed that Ellen was just in her living room, and Governor Newsom was speaking about some of the measures that he has taken for Californians to keep them safe. And I actually saw her just really tuning into that. And I go, she's never done that before. Like, she was like, what are they saying? She was actually becoming present. But the point that I'm making is that, like, I would look at that screen with the intention of, what am I going to learn? I was looking at the angles of the film. I was looking at how the lighting was. I was looking at how the setting was, even though they were in their homes. In other words, do you participate in choices in which the base of your intention behind that choice is, I want to learn something. What am I going to learn? Or is it supporting just an aimless idea? I've been there, where I've actually invested in sounds or relationships or doing things that perhaps didn't seem to feed anything that had a higher purpose. And I remembered how the consequence of that choice made me heavier, made me feel more aimless than before. So the fact that we're talking about character today is not a small order. I know it can be a little bit challenging, today's session. It's not intended to be that. It's intended to be a thought-provoking conversation or moment together for us to ask ourselves if we are living a life of character. And when was the last time you encountered a person of great character? I mean, I'm remembering the daddies, I'm remembering all of my senior yogis, I'm thinking of someone like a Sister Jenty. I'm thinking of a Daddy Janki. I'm thinking of a Daddy Prakashmani. People with good character who you sense just aren't driven by a lot of ego or a lot of pushback, or they do what they do because they want something from you first. It's a high order, isn't it? To just be good. To just be good. But to also find meaning in your life and to live a life of purpose. We've been feeling quite humbled and blessed of how our time has been used in such a worthwhile way. We've been actually looking for time in the day to just somehow relax. Yes, once in a while we have had maybe an hour or two. But in between, from our 4 o'clock routine to our 6 o'clock in the morning routine, to making breakfast and sitting together around breakfast, or if I have radio shows to do, or I have meetings to do on a call or on a Zoom, or I'm catching up on things to do, it feels like the time just goes by so purposefully. Today I even went outside. I blew the leaves from the driveway, and I just enjoy doing that. I wanted to see if the cars could start. The other day I was able to take a rest, which I did. I enjoyed that. I had enjoyed the freedom of doing that. And in my conversation with folks, one of the things I've enjoyed about this particular period is not only the test in how I'm showing up with character and how my friends are showing up with their characteristics or their character traits, but it's the fact that so much is being leveraged right now. Like, we're seeing videos of individuals that are just at home. They're not dressed up. They don't have those fancy outfits like Lady Gaga used to do to offer us the shock and awe. Remember how she used to dress? They're just showing up being themselves. And that means, are we okay with just the way we are? Or are we constantly trying to pursue somebody else's role, somebody else's story, because we don't know our own? Somebody with good character would come from a place of acceptance of themselves, deep radical self-acceptance, and having a very deep connection to Source, to God, and will want their best to shine. It's like a natural trait. You're either going to be virtuous, gentle, kind, deep, forgiving, understanding, warm, sensitive, caring, compassionate, or not. Or not. Is there fear, anger, worry, depression? And even that's normal. But which one's weighing more? Which one's got most of your energy invested? Take a look at this video, and I'll be right back to take you through a reading of a project that we've done in the Brahma Kumaris. Enjoy. Wasn't that wonderful? I think that said it all. It's, you can't buy character. You just can't buy it. And you can't dress your way into character. They're choices that you make. And as I looked at some of the points of character, I wish I had them all. Because I've met individuals with very refined character. Hey, I've been raised by people with refined character, and yet there are moments that I struggle with having the right thought, saying the right word, or making the right choices. In the Brahma Kumari's Raj Yoga teachings, there's a reality about there are deep-rooted impressions that are recorded in the soul that we call sanskaras, that we say they're traveling with you on your journey. And each incarnation or each birth, each lifetime, you and I are given a chance, a second chance, to make good on our karmic stories. Now, I don't necessarily want to say that everything is all about karma, even though I know it is. But it doesn't mean that I take everything that I go through so personally that I get stuck and that I don't move forward. I believe that the way we should look at karma is that, yes, everything that I've done carries a vibration in the soul, and the soul is attracting the manifestation of that vibration. And if there are certain things that I'm not very comfortable with, then am I courageous enough, and am I strong enough, and am I wise enough to make the changes that I need? I have seen the fruition of a person of good morals. And I have seen the destruction of a person, especially in leadership, that lacks morals and ethics and values. Yesterday when I spoke about trust, you can see the connection between trust and character. What is at the base of your intention? Do you see how they're both related? Trust and character. What's at the base of my intention? When we started this daily evening program, it wasn't about numbers as such. It wasn't about going online and telling the world this. It was about keeping our community alive, keeping our community spiritually strong, keeping them fresh, so that when the COVID crisis is over and we open back up our meditation museums, we're just as bright as we were before we closed it. When you leave yourself by yourself for a long time, without much support or much guidance of the rest of the world, it can become quite an interesting process. And sometimes we end up not being the best. So what I'd like to do is take you through a reading process of our book, which is the Diploma of the Education of Values and Spirituality, which is a fantastic read, by the way. It's led by our education wing of the Brahma Kumaris. And it was researched for quite a number of years, the context which came from many, many educators from around the area. And it has done a lot for me. It has opened up a lot of different areas. And please feel free to put any comments in either on Facebook or on YouTube if you'd like me to pause. If there's something that you'd like some clarity on, I don't mind slowing down and not rushing through this because this is a deep conversation. I hope you get your pen and paper out or put it in your notebook of your iPhone so that we can cover some of the facts. Santosh, you had something?
Already someone has a question. How does one learn character?
How does one learn character? You tune in every hour on the hour to the Meditation Museum. Our spiritual vaccine is teaching that. Again, everyone, I just think character is one of the most priceless commodities the human soul can have. It's like meditation will be the tool. That's the answer to your question, whoever asked the question on YouTube. When you are reflective, introspective, and you spend some time in silence and in deep contemplation, you become more fiercely honest with who you are and what you're becoming. And you begin to support a deeper level of yourself. And it's really, really important to do that.
Sister, can you repeat the name of the book someone is asking?
This book you can't get unless you go to Mount Abu, India, but it's the Diploma of Education in Values and Spirituality. It's the Value Education by the Brahma Kumaris. Maybe I'll try to look for it. And actually, I'd love to order quite a number of copies. And when we open up, you can come to the Meditation Museum, or you can, get it online or something. I'll see what I can do. I promise. I promise. So get ready. This is going to be a powerful journey. Are you ready, everyone? Get your pen and paper. I guarantee you this is going to move you. So here we go. Character development is one of the most ancient concerns of civilization. Simplicity, honesty, nonviolence, humility, and purity have been identified as significant disciplines to ensure that character development takes place at all stages of life. Parents, think about what you've been trying to do with your children. Cultivating positive qualities and virtues is the essential effort of character development. Images and statues of legendary people of highest character are memorials of a time when people had overcome the challenge of moral decline and loss of values. Think about the current time that we're in and the state that we're in, and how you think we can design an image of how we need to be. The level of character development can be achieved once again if appropriate methods, practices, attitudes, and approaches are applied. So here's my question, and I'll give you a minute to think about it. Who would you make a memorial of based on these times? Who would you make a memorial of based on these times? I immediately think of Daddy Janki, Daddy Prakashmani, Sister Jenna. These souls come to my mind, and it becomes very clear. Right? So give that food for thought. Who would you create a memorial of in these times? Dr. Fauci? Prime Minister Modi? Who? Your grandmother? The teacher next door? The man who designed 1,000 masks to give away for free? The person who contributed to a non-profit that was helping to build people's morals and self-esteem? I'm giving you a signal for the Meditation Museum. But who would you create a memorial of during these times of the COVID crisis? Who stands out in your heart and in your mind? Food for thought, isn't it? Who has impacted you? I came across, you're going to laugh when I tell you this. I was telling Reverend Sylvia about this person I found on Instagram called D Nice. I don't know if you've heard of him. I don't know much about who he is, but he's like a DJ, I believe. And we happened to have stopped on his Instagram page, and where he was doing a live performance. And I saw Sister Gita just dancing and having a wonderful time. And I had to text D Nice, thank you for making the world happier. He was playing songs from the 80s, I believe, and I was moving my feet too. And I just said, wow, he's making a difference. And on Monday, he's having a session with Michelle Obama. This was somebody who was just, not really doing much. And because of this, he just wanted to bring happiness and joy to the world. And look, on Monday, he's going to be having a session on his Instagram page with Michelle Obama. Oh, what I would do for Michelle and I to have a conversation about the power of meditation. Wouldn't that be a wonderful vision? You see, I think she's a person of character. Oprah Winfrey is a person of character. Do you know what I mean? These seems to be people that just stand firm and are quite intentional in what they decide to do and say. So just to give that some thought, okay? So the removal of character defects is a constant challenge or opportunity. Strength of character is consolidated as you pass tests and resist temptations and weaknesses. So think about the COVID-19 time that we're in. The removal of character defects is a constant challenge. Strength of character is consolidated as you pass tests and resist temptations and weaknesses. So let's take a look at what is even good character. Character is expressed and revealed through your relationships. Character is expressed and it's revealed through the way you treat another person. Your relationship with yourself is linked to your morality or your inner purity and honesty. Your relationship with yourself is linked to your morality or your inner purity and honesty, your inner value. It involves developing your self-worth, managing your emotions, and applying your intelligence quite wisely. Now, a person of good character models great integrity. Even as I speak these words to you, I'm feeling them, wanting this to be me in the final part of my journey. So, a person of good character models great integrity. They are trustworthy in all areas. That includes the handling of money, confidentiality, and loyalty. The word character in India also refers to someone's sexual character or morality. A person of good character has the power to restrain their urges and passions and acts according to more moral principles. And when the character has become good, he has made an internal commitment to fight against or to resist weaknesses. This is the strength of character. Isn't that wonderful? Now think about that, pause for a little, and I want you to take just a second to settle into what I've just shared. Think about it. Character is expressed and revealed through the way you treat another person. Food for thought. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about yourself right now and to see where you are in your journey of character development. All right, so I hope that helped you to just think a little bit on where you are in your journey and how you're doing. Parents and educators tend to encourage young people to be good, generous, open, and honest. But a few people in this world are driven by the opposite. There's a lot of negativity. But character development includes being able to protect yourself from getting duped, which is how we're all feeling, that we're not going to get duped, caught up, and damaged by people with dishonest intentions who wish to harm you. Think about a relationship with you and a partner. Think about your children, trying to have it over on you. Think about your peers at work, your colleagues at work. Maybe you're doing all the work and they're getting all the credit. and they're not mentioning your name. It's something that always drives me up a wall, but that's another topic. But character is also proved. So think about it. Character is expressed and revealed through relationship, but there's another level. It's proved by the quality of your relationships. How you behave and relate to individuals is to a large extent dictated by your moral principles. A person of good character gives respect and regard, whether others in the social hierarchy are higher or older, equal, younger, or quite average. So your upbringing actually informs you about your social identity and what is expected of you in your relationships with other family members and society. Isn't that amazing? Relationships will remain alive with friends, colleagues, and clients when nurtured through the give and take of mutual benefit, which takes the form of, write this down, regular communication, exchanges, courteous behavior, and consideration. Relationships of employers and employees, governments and citizens, and between members of different religions and cultures are successful when based on mutual respect and deep trust. There is a law, and the law is of reciprocity that operates in all relationships. That is, give respect and you'll receive respect. Let me pause here and ask how you're feeling so far. Have you been able to identify the depth of the power in character? And to imagine what the world will be like if you walked on the planet upholding your character? How many people would you inspire along the way? How many souls would you sustain? How would your children look at you and with you and for you because they can see the way you've modeled integrity throughout your whole life? It just feels like the ultimate gift that we can give ourselves, doesn't it? So what I'd like to do is pause here for a moment. I think what I've offered you is quite rich and deep. Welcome to the Meditation Museum Hour. I think every night has been a blessing and has offered something of value and richness in many ways. And I'd like to just ask Santosh to take us into 3 minutes of Om and silence and just clearing out this particular time. And I'd like you to just contemplate, ponder on where are you inside, and think about your character and what do you feel you're ready to really develop and grow. Take this moment. I hope that was helpful for you to dive deep inside of you to check what parts of you are working well and what parts of you are true and filled with integrity and power, and maybe what parts you might need a little bit of support in. And maybe tonight's conversation will assist in that. I'm enjoying this tremendously. It is something that can take you so deep within yourself to really come out. And I think that's what this COVID crisis will present to us, is an opportunity to measure the depth of our character. So now let's look at character in the form of generosity. It is sharing what you have with others, whether it is food, opportunity, knowledge, money, space, or even your personal qualities. The more a person is motivated by the urge to gratify desires, the weaker the character becomes. Because character is measured by the depth of your sympathy and empathy for others and also for nature. Isn't that lovely, Sister Gita?
Yes, indeed.
So this is not sentimentality, but good character means to care, to have a good, healthy balance of give and take, to maintain respect for others' feelings and their faiths, to give love and friendship. Now, people in positions of power and responsibility need to develop good character in order to retain public trust, something many, many countries are in need of right now. To have public trust. So character includes the concept of duty and fulfilling your destiny. Character is the inner determination to realize your inspiration and accomplish your dream. To accomplish your dream. Many people get good ideas, but to turn them into realities involves struggles, facing unforeseen circumstances, and overcoming hurdles. But if character is weak, then the person is stopped by the obstacle and they give up. Do you know somebody who will start a project and just drop it, never complete it? You know, they have to finish the project. It's a sign of your character. Another sign of character is to follow through on what you start. Not to just start it and wait for somebody to pick it up or have somebody come to finish it. It's to follow through, which was in our session on trust yesterday. So many people get good ideas, but to turn them into realities involves struggles, facing unforeseen circumstances, and overcoming obstacles. If character is weak, then the person is stopped by the obstacle and gives up. But strength of character is shown that when the individual refuses to be beaten and perseveres regardless, it's the strength of their character. It is also a strength and sign of humility to understand when it is time to let go. Isn't that wonderful? And I think COVID is giving us a chance to learn that now. How much are you going to help your fellow neighbor after this? Or are you going to hoard for the need of your own safety? We actually have enough, but the question is my character deep enough and willing enough to share? So there is a higher duty or purpose beyond the humdrum of ordinary average life. Anyone who discerns their higher purpose and applies themselves to accomplish it can achieve deeper meaning in their life and even greatness by doing something inspirational and beneficial. When you choose to bring benefit to others, you will receive their blessings. You'll receive their blessings from their hearts and from their minds, and it will give you great happiness. There'll be a tremendous amount of internal happiness because of their good wishes. I wonder about people who get a lot of negative thoughts from people, especially people in positions of power. When you have half of a civilization hating you, how do you stand up? Can you imagine the internal battle of that particular soul? So the question is, the turnaround, do I want to be hated or would I prefer to be loved and respected? And if so, what choices do I need to make in order to achieve that goal or that destination? So, character is concerned with establishing and maintaining your honor and reputation. This applies to your social conduct and refers to your skill in balancing dignity and humility. Human beings will always have a natural urge to improve themselves, and everyone has a right to strive for greatness and excellence in any field of their choice. What sometimes people call, that I've heard in spiritual communities, they will say this person has a lot of ambition. I'm like, I don't know. For me, I've heard this said to me, she's ambitious. And I've paused when I've heard that and I went, I don't know if I'm ambitious, but I feel like there's a vision pulling me. So there's a difference between ambition and your vision. And I can't articulate and tell those few souls who think I have ambition. All I can do is allow the vision to guide me. And I feel it. And it has a lot to do with my love and my connection to God. That something is being formed from that connection. So check. You can either be ambitious, which has to do with some desires of the past that are unfulfilled, or you can allow your vision to pull you. It's your choice. If your vision is pulling you, it's the strength of your character. It's my simple analogy, at least. So everyone has a right to strive for greatness and excellence in any field of their choice. However, achieving excellence is usually accompanied by arrogance of the achievement because almost everyone is ego-based. Many moralists will preach to you that this is really self-aggrandizement and the only way out is to suppress this natural inclination. It is not wrong to want to build yourself, to strive for a high status. However, it's not good for you to use immoral means. Do you get that? Immoral means to achieve and or to hold on to a desired status, because then there is a discrepancy between your status and your character, which will eventually lead you to abuse your power and the position that you have. Can't begin to tell you how that makes me feel so touched. Not to abuse your position of power, to be able to have a kind of a servant leadership quality, but with a balance. Of course, if people within my field begin to relate to me too much from an average place, it's to their detriment and it's also to mine. Because you need a little bit of tension to grow. I need a little bit of tension to see if I'm still modeling the right things with my peers or juniors. And they need a little bit of tension to know that I am in a position of authority. So don't speak to me too common, because that's going to make you stop learning. Because the ego always wants to control a relationship. I've seen it over and over and over again. And all the time, I see that nobody wins. So appreciate the little bit of tension that is needed to keep pushing us forward. There has to be a little bit of that. It becomes a means of helping us. So many say that it might be better to err on the side of humility, even if it inclines you towards pushing yourself up, or the suppression of your urge to realize your potential. But this traditional approach, which urges self-sacrifice, needs to be reconsidered. A person of character will neither set aside their self-respect and dignity, nor will they act disrespectfully towards others. They will strive for the fine balance, the win-win situation, where they maintain their dignity and reach their highest potential without violating their principles or the honor of the other person. and without violating the dictates of their conscience. Did you hear that? I'll read this one more time. They will strive for the fine balance, the win-win situation. Win-win. How does this benefit all of us? Where they maintain their dignity and reach their highest potential without violating their principles or the honor of the other person and without violating the dictates of their conscience. The ability to accomplish lofty goals and to achieve something significant that inspires others is an aspect of strength of character and helps to provide great meaning in your life. Did you enjoy that? I hope that was useful. I felt it was needed for the continuation of our session yesterday on trust, because I see where trust and character are so deeply connected. And again, everyone, I've told you, it's something that I also seek to develop completely. A beautiful character. Just to be a beautiful human being, someone who is kind, empathetic, understanding, caring. And even though if you look at your own life, you might say, I have those qualities. However, until the soul reaches it to a vast percentage, maybe at least 85 to 90%, I don't think you'll feel contented. I think the soul is naturally wired to want more, not because of a lack, but because of the vision. We all have a vision for something greater in ourselves. And we continue to strive for that. And we should. And we should. So I hope you've enjoyed our session today. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts to share or questions perhaps that you might have. Okay, you got it texted. Let's see what you've got me sending here. Let's see. Two from YouTube. YouTube. Did you all send your blessings to YouTube? I think it's really important. So Priya, thank you so much for joining in. How are trust, follow through, and character related? How does one develop the ability to follow through on their promises and commitments? Well, trust has a lot to do with self-honesty and again, the intent and the ability to see qualities like reliability, consistency, transparency. And they're very deeply related. And I feel that trust comes from such a very sensitive and subtle part of our personality that we need to listen to our own ability to trust ourselves. And when we can listen to that quiet voice of conscience, it will drive us to make choices that will support humility and values and principles. So I feel that they're both related, that trust and character need each other to really be fulfilled. Now, can I make someone fulfill their commitment? I've tried. I've tried with our team to start something. I've tried with myself in certain ways where I might feel like I leave it to the individual to believe in their potential and capacity. But it doesn't mean that they have that vision for themselves. Sometimes they'll just wait on you to tell them something to do, and you're like, but that's not the person that I see you to be. I see you to be someone that has the capacity to thrive. So the point that I'm making is you really can't help somebody to follow through with their promises and commitment through words sometimes. Sometimes it's just going to be through your example. That when they see, and this is a big thing, Priya, when they see that you have been consistent and you haven't wavered, it somehow sparks some sort of an inspiration in them, and they start to find courage. But the moment they see your inconsistency with your integrity and your values, then they go, it's not enough. So again, it's always going to be on you. It's always going to be on your capacity to strive and to be the best. And who wins will always be you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you and have you. I want us to do a session on taking care of our elders during the COVID crisis. So we'll contact you to discuss this more. So let me see what your question is. How do you find the win-win balance when conflict is present and when your soul wants better? Good question. This is where meditation, silence, prayer, reflection is needed for you to understand that your peace and your love and your power is greater than the situation. Recently, something had happened and it had disturbed my spirit. And I could see that it disturbed a few people that were very close to me. And I found myself kind of having a struggle with, but I believe in my good deeds. And I believe that I do things not to ruffle anyone's feather. But this vision in me, I don't know how it got in me, Nicole, but there's something that I've been wired to do, to keep moving. I don't look back a lot. The few times that I do, that's the basis of conflict too. You will keep feeding the energy of conflict because you keep moving back, looking back, what should have been, why did it happen, and so on. But if you settle yourself into stillness and you deepen your faith with God, you will feel and experience the depths of your principle and what is most important to you. And more than likely, it'll go back to your peace and purity of character. And you'll weigh the difference and say, this fight isn't worth it. I told you the situation when Sister Gita was going through her first stages of forgetfulness, right? And I told you that I had reached a point that I wasn't being kind and how I didn't like it. So I had to dig deeper. And I had to dig deep. And I had to accept this is not who I am. And through that meditation and through my faith in God's love and energy of light, it shifted. And even she's doing a whole lot better. You know? All right. So, I think we'll pause here because we're at 7:30. And I think that's really important for us to end early. Look forward to some really nice upcoming shows that we're going to have together. And I hope that you're tuning into the America Meditating Radio. It's one of my little pet projects and one of the hobbies that I've enjoyed. I've met so many wonderful friends on that radio show. And again, that was a gift from Sister Gita. When she was recovering from her cancer treatment, she was laying around. And we just thought she has such a beautiful spirit, such a beautiful voice. Maybe we can start an online radio program and she could read and recite and share all those great words of wisdom that she knows best to do. And it turned out that you didn't stick with it. And I ended up sticking with it because I'm not a quitter. I tend to not quit when I start something. And when I give you my word, I'm going to stick to it. When I give you my friendship, I'll stick into it. When my friendships with you break, it's because of a lack of loyalty and honesty. That's always been a big thing for me because I'm so straight up with my friends, and I tend to base my relationships or friendships based on that deep honesty and loyalty. So sometimes people will say, oh, she's like this. I go, don't you forget what you did. That I can't invest what I invest in and who I am as a person with someone that I find hard to trust. And that's why sometimes when I break away from certain people, it's not necessarily that I feel that I did something wrong, but it's definitely because that lack of trust and honesty was at play. So again, food for thought. I love them and I still appreciate them, but when it comes on to the work that I'm involved with, I really need that cleanliness and honesty and openness. And I know that when I mess up, I'm the first one to tell my friends, sorry, this wasn't right. I shouldn't have said it. I shouldn't have done it. Because I guess we're all a work in progress, right? So anyway, please stay safe. Please eat well. And maybe you can send me a message to inspire me to exercise. I'm not doing that at all. And I'm hoping that I'm not gaining too much weight during this particular time. But at least, as vegetarians, we do eat well. So kind of helps us to maintain. I did come up with a new recipe. Santosh made a dish called upma, which is, what's the soji or something? What's the ingredient? Semolina. So he cooks it up with water and vegetables, and it was okay. And so I kind of took the upma and I go, I think I could make like a upma burger with this. So I don't know what I did. I just crushed it all up, put some breadcrumbs and some seasonings in it, and fried that up. And for 3 days we've been eating upma burgers. It's been amazing. Because we don't want to waste the food, no? So it's been nice, but it's been a nice dish. So if you're interested in my upma burger recipe, please text us, or please email us, and I'll be happy to share that with you. But it's delicious. Anyway, here's letting go. Thank you again for joining us, and enjoy your meditation time. And love deeply. Play this recording back again and again. I think the information is just so rich, and it will only make us into better people. We love you very, very much. Can't wait to physically see you and stay 6 feet apart from you. But just to see you, see your skin, see your eyes, see the beauty of your soul behind your eyes, feel the richness of your character and the depth of your love and your generosity. We just count down the days until we can see you again at the meditation museums. Take care, everyone. Lots of blessings. Om Shanti. The time that we choose to be aware doesn't necessarily require me to just sit and meditate. But even while I walk and move around, I can be in a meditative awareness, which is awareness of the soul, the original, eternal, imperishable being of light. For a little while, I'd like to invite you to be present, to be here, and to be now. Allow your mind to settle in the moment, to relax. This meditation is about awareness. It's about becoming aware of your original and eternal self. It's about connecting to your truth. Let go of your name. And observe yourself feeling nameless. Let go of your gender to discontinue thinking you're a man or a woman. Let it go and observe how you would feel walking around without a gender. Let go of the role that you play and let go of the titles that you own. Observe how you're feeling as you are gradually letting go. Let go of your religion and put it aside just for now. And let go of your nationality and even the language that you're accustomed to. Imagine You have no name, gender, role, title, religion, nationality, or even a language. Ask yourself, how do you feel at this moment? And in this feeling, who would think of you, and who would you think of? The Supreme Soul would think of you, and you, the liberated soul, would think of the Supreme. In this state of absolute freedom, I am truly who I am. A free, peaceful, pure, immortal, and eternal soul. Allow yourself to just be absorbed in this awareness. At this time.